This week on ANN, Adventist Community Services in North America provides assistance in the state of Hawaii.
Thousands are helped after a mega medical clinic is opened in the Philippines.
And Seventh-day Adventists help celebrate Religious Freedom Day in Colombia.
These stories and more coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, in 2018, Adventist Community Services in North America has been overwhelmed dealing with fires in Colorado, floods in the southern part of the United States, continued evaluation of what assistance will look like in the U.S. border states, and ongoing volcano aftermath in Hawaii.
More than 600 houses have been destroyed by the May 2018 Kilauea volcano eruption on the island of Hawaii, known as the Big Island. Thousands of residents have evacuated their homes.
Adventists in Hawaii and the mainland are helping families in need. Take a look at the work Adventist Community Services Disaster Response and many other volunteers are doing on the Big Island.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church in North America sent this report.
A violent volcanic eruption in Hawaii is threatening to cause even more destruction this morning.
Extraordinary moments in Hawaii, over 450 earthquakes in 24 hours and spewing lava.
The eruption of a volcano on Hawaii's largest island has forced the evacuation of 1,700 residents.
For the past couple of weeks, this river of red-hot rock has been causing chaos in the streets.
We had a couple of earthquakes, one after the other. But the major earthquake was in May 4th. We had one earthquake hit was 5.7 on the Richter scale. And half an hour later or 40 minutes later, we had another one, 6.9. That was the biggest earthquake I've ever experienced.
I was on the Big Island recruiting for summer camp, traveling around the island. And while I was there, one of the first earthquakes happened that started the shifting of the lava flow, and lava started coming up out of the ground and covering major areas.
Some fissures started to open up. In other words, in an area known as Leilani Estates, an area that is residential, okay, a beautiful area. All of a sudden, you had cracks opening up. You had cracks as wide as 3, 4, 5 feet opening up, and then steam comes up. And hours later, you had massive lava flow. I mean, just lava just shooting up in the air.
Right now, over 600 homes have been completely destroyed. Kids and families, their entire lives have been uprooted, and they've had to move to shelters.
When the fissures began to open up, everyone began to be evacuated in that area, in that neighborhood. And different shelters were set up. We were there as a church, this church, Hilo Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Puna Seventh-day Adventist Church. We were there immediately, and we were at the shelters serving. We started serving food, serving breakfast for the community.
I help out with feeding, cleaning up the tables, organizing, serving the people that are coming in, praying with people, talking to people.
We got involved with VOAD, and from there on, you know, I let VOAD know that our church is open. Our church is ready for any aid, whatever they may need.
Every day is a stepping stone. Every day is a blessing to serve the Lord and serve the community. I'm just blessed and grateful for the energy and the strength that the Lord has given me.
Well, I want to thank everybody that did help, who's been helping from day one, to who are going to help, to who may help. This couldn't have been done without everybody coming together and helping us out here.
I don't know how long these people are going to be in this situation. The last time something even close to this happened was way back in the 50s, and it took a good 9 months to a year for the situation to show any semblance of normalcy.
Tomorrow's going to be 2 months that we've had the first fissure open up. 2 months it's been going on, and we don't see any end in sight. I would love, maybe in the near future, build 3 or 4 mini homes, small homes, and help out some families. Our funds as well for feeding the evacuees is also running low. So, you know, if you guys can help us out, besides your prayers, I mean, prayers are always wanted, but you know, we need some actual help here.
More than 5,000 patients have been served so far during the Mega Medical Clinic in the city of Puerto Princesa in Palawan, Philippines. The three-day event is sponsored by the Adventist World Radio, Your Best Pathways to Health, and the Southern Asia Pacific Division. The Mega Clinic also earned attention from government leaders for its humanitarian efforts to help and extend assistance to the citizens of Palawan. Puerto Princesa Mayor Lucio Byron and city councilors Jimmy Carbonell and Gary Gariano expressed their appreciation for the Adventist Church's efforts in reaching those in need. At the time of this taping, the Mega Clinic was still going on, and in the coming weeks, we'll be back with more stories and information about this amazing outreach.
Seventh-day Adventist religious liberty leaders were invited by the Colombian government to help celebrate the country's third annual National Religious Freedom Day. During a morning meeting at the headquarters of Colombia's Ministry of the Interior, Director of Public Affairs and Religious Liberty for the Adventist World Church, Ganun Diep, addressed more than 100 religious and political leaders who had gathered to mark the occasion. In his presentation, Diep acknowledged that Colombia faces extraordinary challenges following more than 5 decades of armed civil conflict. The conflict has been a devastating struggle that through the years has displaced 5 million people from their homes, left an estimated 220,000 dead, and taken a massive economic and emotional toll on generations of Colombians. Diep said that people of faith in Colombia now have a critical role to play in the peace and reconciliation process. He challenged listeners to help forge a society that recognizes each human life as sacred with a God-given worth greater than that of temples, churches, mosques, or religious texts. Earlier in the day, Diep, along with Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Director for the Adventist Church in Colombia, Gabriel Villarreal, attended a special breakfast for religious leaders at the Presidential Palace, hosted by Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos. President Santos has always been a key supporter of religious freedom. Diep and Villarreal thanked President Santos for his continued support for religious minorities, which includes signing the 2016 decree that recognized July 4 as National Religious Freedom Day. Reflecting on the day's events, Villarreal said he was encouraged by the level of support for religious freedom shown by the Colombian government.
2 Seventh-day Adventist church pastors were among 15 Jamaican recipients of the annual Governor General's Achievement Awards. Gordon Lindsay, Youth Ministries Director for the church in Northeast Jamaica in the parish of St. Mary, and Omar Oliphant, the district pastor in the parish of St. Anne, received their awards during a ceremony held on June 28. Through his office as Youth Ministries Director, Lindsay has built a strong relationship with numerous communities and groups impacting many lives outside of the pews. He currently coordinates the Pringle Children's Home Development Initiative and Impact Anato Bay, which provide counseling and empowerment sessions for young people aimed at reducing crime and violence. Oliphant created history in the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Jamaica in 2017 when he became the first ordained minister to become an attorney at law in Jamaica. The St. Anne Parish benefited from his brainchild, the Save a Youth Foundation, through the purchase of over 8 nebulizers toward the St. Anne's Bay Hospital and other similar donations in cash. The Governor General Achievement Awards recognizing excellence are presented to individuals in recognition of the work of many unsung heroes and heroines who have not received national honors, but who are eligible for recognition based on their academic performance or their service in their communities. The program has, since its inception in 1991 by the Most Honorable Howard Cook, consistently recognized and promoted excellence among citizens engaged in volunteer service and who demonstrate academic success and strong family values over time.
A study by Loma Linda University School of Behavioral Health researchers found that there is a link between attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, severity, and serious video game addiction. The study, Video Game Addiction, ADHD Symptomatology, and Video Game Reinforcement, published June 6 in the American Journal of Drug and Alcohol Abuse, found that the risk of addiction existed regardless of the type of video game played or most preferred. In the Loma Linda University study, the number of hours playing video games was associated with addiction severity. Age was not a factor. Also, males reported greater addiction severity than females. Holly Morrell, study principal investigator and associate professor at Loma Linda University School of Behavioral Health, and her team tested nearly 3,000 video game players ages 18 to 57 for the study.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Canada is assisting in Guatemala after the Fuego volcano erupted on June 3, causing large amounts of destruction to the surrounding communities.
This catastrophe has affected the lives of almost 2 million people. Recent reports indicate 112 people have died and 198 are still missing.
More than 3,000 residents have been evacuated, and those living close to the volcano are still at risk because of the loss of their animals and crops. Damaged and blocked roads are cutting them off from services and support during this very difficult time.
ADRA Canada's response team has delivered 50 tons of food, clothing, water, and other essential supplies to the isolated communities. The assistance will continue in the coming weeks as household hygiene kits and food baskets will be delivered to people who are living in shelters in the communities surrounding the volcano.
Currently, emergency response teams are focused on responding to basic needs with food, medicine, and clothing. Once the initial crisis is over, there will still be a need for food, seeds, and agricultural supplies. People will need a way to restore their lives and livelihoods.
Coming up, the first film festival in Martinique takes place.
But up next, hundreds of victims of female genital mutilation are helped in Germany.
My brother's unexpected death shocked me into changing my life. A friend of mine said, "Why don't you do a triathlon?" So I swam and rode and ran until I discovered life is more than just human strength. I race because my health matters. I believe because my faith matters. I'm Ed, I'm a Christian. I am an Ironman, and I've discovered my whole life matters.
Welcome back.
More than 350 women have received medical attention for female genital mutilation, or FGM, at the Desert Flower Center in the Adventist Hospital Waldfriede in Berlin-Zehlendorf.
Boris Deary, who initiated the program, spoke at the 6th International Coloproctologist Congress held by the Waldfriede Hospital to an audience of 300 doctors. In her speech, she called for more desert flower centers to be established around the world.
According to the Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, FGM is practiced primarily in 29 African countries and in a few Arab and Asian states, but also within migrant communities in Europe or North America. According to UN statistics, more than 250 million women worldwide are affected by this cruel procedure.
For more information, visit krankenhauswaldfriede.de.
The President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, recently paid a courtesy visit to the University of Southern Caribbean, a Seventh-day Adventist-operated institution in Port of Spain, Trinidad. Her brief visit included a meeting with USC administration and a group of students and a tour of the campus. President Weeks applauded USC officials for educating thousands of students every year and said she was impressed with the beautiful Maracas Valley campus. The University of the Southern Caribbean is fully accredited and supported as a tertiary level educational institution by the government of Trinidad and Tobago through its accrediting body, the Accrediting Council of Trinidad and Tobago. It is also recognized as a teacher training institution by the Ministry of Education of Trinidad and Tobago. USC is affiliated with Andrews University in the U.S. state of Michigan.
Fishermen in the Boba community, Maria Trinidad Sanchez province, are facing a major economic crisis after a heavy tidal wave struck the community, dragging about 30 homes and destroying the dock completely. ADRA Dominicana has been providing assistance to those affected through food vouchers. We are focusing on restoring the affected livelihoods, this time by building a dock so that fishermen can dock their boats and board the tourists who visit the area. The Adventist Church in Inter-America sent this report.
aquí después de los fenómenos que pasaron, la situación de nosotros ha sido precaria por el hecho de que el turismo aquí se ha caído porque como se nos fue el muelle con la tormenta, el río lo arrastró, lo despegó de todas partes. Entonces los turistas han tenido temor de venir, como es incómodo montarlo en las embarcaciones para darle los tours, ya que eso es un paisaje muy bonito para allá, porque muchos de ellos han tenido conocimiento, los turistas que han venido y han querido volver, pero temen meterse al agua para meterse a las embarcaciones. Y por eso nosotros hoy le estamos dando gracias a ustedes que nos han querido dar este apoyo en cuanto al muelle, porque después que el muelle esté, pues nosotros, la situación no es mejor en nosotros como pescadores, como asociación de pescadores de aquí.
Ya estamos agradeciéndole esta nueva visita que nos están haciendo para ayudarnos a construir nuestro muelle, que la tormenta nos lo derribó ahí. Y como tenemos pocos recursos, o mejor dicho, ninguna clase de recursos tenemos por el momento, porque estamos tratando de recuperarnos y hemos recibido ayuda de otras personas, pero más de ustedes. Son las personas que más se han acercado a nosotros y han tratado de ayudarnos, y se lo agradecemos infinitamente, porque vemos que ustedes son gente que quieren ayudar a la comunidad donde necesitan, y nosotros por el momento estamos siendo muy necesitados en esta comunidad. Ya ustedes están viendo como el hermano nos dejó aquí este lugar aquí donde nosotros prosperamos, pero gracias a Dios ustedes ya han venido en pos de nosotros para ayudarnos, y eso se lo agradecemos mucho, 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 después de Dios, a ustedes que nos lo han mandado, porque primero Dios, después nosotros.
Coming up, Emily Mastrapa is with us to talk about how you can get involved in mission to the cities.
But up next, we hear from Adventist Mission about a school in Mongolia.
The church was undergoing practical challenges. The Hellenistic Jews were complaining against the Hebraic Jews because the former's widows were being overlooked in the daily distribution of food. The apostles decided that they needed to focus on the ministry of prayer and the word, and so they requested for 7 deacons to be chosen for these other practical tasks.
The apostles asked us, as a group, to choose 7 men who were known to be full of the Spirit and have wisdom. This proposal from the apostles pleased our whole group, so we went about selecting the 7 men. Once the men were selected, they were presented to the apostles. The apostles laid their hands on them and prayed for them.
With prayer as a priority, the church would never fail. After this, the number of disciples increased rapidly, and a large number of priests became obedient to the word.
Welcome back.
About 3 years ago, TescoAdventist School in Mongolia's capital city of Ulaanbaatar received a portion of the 13th Sabbath offering.
Let's see how this school has benefited from your generous gifts. Adventist Mission has more.
I am an elementary teacher, and I have been working here from the beginning of this school. Since I started, the school has been growing rapidly, and many things have changed, many students have come, and the number of teachers increased. There are many schools in the city, but we are fortunate to receive special recognition because we are giving the children a Seventh-day Adventist education. And I believe God sends us the right children that He wants to bless.
About 3 years ago, TescoAdventist School in Mongolia's capital city of Ulaanbaatar received a portion of the 13th Sabbath offering. The offering was collected to expand the school's ministry. At the time, there were only a few classrooms that could each fit a maximum of 6 students. When the school received the 13th Sabbath offering funds, they quickly put the money to work. The school added more grades, and new Adventist teachers joined the faculty. Classrooms with enough space for 20 or more students each were built. Additional blessings include a library to inspire the students and a cafeteria that serves daily lunch to students and staff. They are very proud of the new facilities and are grateful for the contributions received from all around the world. As the school expanded, its enrollment skyrocketed. Many students from around the community wanted to attend TescoAdventist. In the 5th grade class, one girl feels especially privileged to study here. She is one of Ishemeg's students. She lives in an orphanage in the city, and she came to TescoAdventist from a public school.
When she attended the public school, she was mocked and bullied. This caused her to withdraw from other children, and her hard life was made even harder. But when she arrived at our school, she found peace and self-confidence. She has made friends now, and her guardian is grateful. Stories like this are common in all of our classes. I can see God is working, and this school is fulfilling its mission.
Today, 144 students from kindergarten to 12th grade attend TescoAdventist School. Most of these students come from non-Adventist families. This quarter's 13th Sabbath offering will once again support the school's expansion. The leadership plans to build a boarding academy for grades 9 through 12. This is a golden opportunity for the emerging Adventist church in Mongolia to connect with the community. Please pray for the 13th Sabbath offering this quarter. It will help TescoAdventist School expand, as well as help construct urban centers of influence in China, Taiwan, and South Korea, and a youth training center in Japan. Thank you for your support of the mission offerings.
Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting AdventistMission.org, then click Videos at the top.
This past week, the world recognized World Population Day. It is estimated that more than 60% of the world's population live in cities.
The Adventist Church recognizes our need to reach everyone. Emily Mastrapa is here to talk about how the Adventist Church is reaching those in the big cities.
As of this month, the current world population is 7.6 billion. Wednesday, July 11, was World Population Day. This day seeks to focus attention on the urgency and importance of population issues. This year's theme was Family Planning is a Human Right. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the 1968 International Conference on Human Rights, where family planning was globally affirmed to be a human right for the first time. The conference's outcome document stated, "Parents have a basic human right to determine freely and responsibly the number and spacing of their children. Men and women have the right to choose when and how often to embrace parenthood, if at all. Every individual has the human right to determine the direction and scope of his or her future in this fundamental way." In honor of World Population Day, let's see how the Adventist Church is reaching people in big cities through Mission to the Cities. The Mission to the Cities initiative is part of Reach the World, the 2015 to 2020 strategic plan voted by the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The emphasis is on sharing Jesus' love and the hope of his soon return with people in major cities. You can follow Mission to the Cities on Twitter at Mission Cities to stay up to date. They also have a Facebook page at Mission to the Cities. Their website offers an introduction to reaching urban areas for Christ, along with resources to help you do just that. You can visit their website at missiontothecities.org to learn more about this initiative.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history.
This week, the Adventist Church in Scandinavia commits to a stronger medical and health-based mission.
July 8, 1900 was the last day of two Adventist meetings more than 4,000 miles apart. At Vejle in Denmark, the Danish Conference constituency meeting came to an end. It was attended by John N. Loughborough, legendary pioneer of the 1850s and a co-founder of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, who was then on a tour of Scandinavia. The meeting admitted a 17th church as member of the conference and laid plans for stronger medical and health-based mission. Meanwhile, at Morden, Manitoba in Canada, the Manitoba Mission concluded its camp meeting, which had lasted 11 days and been attended by 200 church members. Throughout, parallel services were conducted in both German and English, reflecting the high proportion of German immigrants to that part of Canada. Professor Benjamin Wilkinson, Dean of Theology at Union College and a former president of the church in Canada, was the English speaker, and Elder Julius Graf the German speaker. There were evangelistic meetings as well, and as a report noted, when the camp meeting closed, a strong company was left in the city to develop the interest awakened. 7 years and 12 days later, on July 13, 1908, 4 new missionaries set out to Mexico in one group, departing from Southern California, from which they traveled by road. Earl Hackett, Arthur A. Reinke, John A. P. Green, and John Brown were colporteurs, as literature evangelists were then called, sent to take charge of canvassing or literature evangelism in Mexico. Sadly, Arthur Reinke contracted typhoid fever and died just 6 months later. Such were the realities of missionary life and death more than a century ago. But there were always more men and women ready to go as missionaries. That was this week in Adventist history.
Thanks for watching A&N. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We'd love to hear from you. So send us your feedback and tell us how your church is making a difference in its community.
Be sure to capture plenty of video footage and photos, then write up a summary of the event's important details. And feel free to send full video reports as well.
You can reach us by sending an email to annvideo11@gmail.com.
Before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verses 171 to 173.
The passage says, "May my lips overflow with praise, for you teach me your decrees. May my tongue sing of your word, for all your commands are righteous. May your hand be ready to help me, for I have chosen your precepts."
That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.